Good morning, Facebook. Coffee with the crew. Today we are going to be going over some reasons why the agents got into real estate. This might inspire you to get into real estate. And I am the social media director of the Jamie Baker Orr team. And I am here today with my agents on the team, Ashley, John, Jay, and Jamie. So let's get started. Jamie, why did you get into real estate?
So my story started out with I was a dental hygienist, so I had a different career path before real estate. And my dad owned a bunch of lots in Pueblo West, and he's like, "You should get your real estate license so you could sell these for me." And I was like, "Why not? I only have two kids and full-time job. I should do something else." And so that's kind of where it started. But I had already had a passion for real estate going in just in investing. So by that point, we were already investing in real estate. Uh, I was in my, I was 27 when we started investing. And so I got my real estate license a few years after that and thought that it'll help me as well with my investing. So that the more I knew about the market, which was one of the things that was strange when we were looking at investments, is I would ask the real estate agent, is this a good investment? Why would, what would it rent for? What would be basically my return on investment? And I never got a straight answer, which I always thought that was very strange. And I was like, do they know, do they know enough about real estate for me to invest my money in this product? Because to me, that's the key, is making sure that you have a return on your investment and that somebody is honest with you. And so I was like, I'm going to get my real estate license. I need to learn more about this for myself. It wasn't really, yes, I could sell my dad's lot, but really it was for growth, basically. And then it just kind of took off from there. I was selling my dad's lots, and we ended up building a custom home, and I was doing subdivision. So my my second house, we wanted on acreage in the Mesa, which, if anybody's from Pueblo, knows how hard that is to get. And so I bought a big parcel of land, subdivided it, and the rest is history. So three subdivisions later, some new construction, and then in '06 really started the resale business when the market fell.
Yeah, that was definitely a tough transition, but like I've heard you say in the past, you started doing real estate, like more classes and educating yourself, and that's made you who you are today, just an amazing top agent in Pueblo. John, what inspired you to get into real estate?
So mine's a little interesting. So when I first got in, I got in to be an investor. So I read the Rich Dad Poor Dad book when I was in my early 20s. I bought my first. It, it was our primary home, but it was an investment property because I fixed the whole house up, redid everything, and then we sold it when I was done. So it was basically an investment that we lived in. So that's really why I got in. What I've realized over the past 10 years is that's not the reason I'm passionate about real estate. What I've realized is that uh, the stability, the security of real estate is what's really important to me. Um, when I was a kid, and I think you guys have heard this story, but when I was a kid, we moved a lot. So in um, basically 9 years in elementary school, I went to nine different elementary schools. I lived in 19 different apartments. So to me, having a house, providing my kids with a secure, stable place to live is really what fueled me. I just didn't realize it until last year. That's when I really realized this is why I'm in real estate, is to help other people realize that safety and that stability and security of home ownership, as well as the investment side, which I still love because that helps people in the long term as well, as opposed to just owning your own home. So that's really why I get in, but why I'm passionate about it. So
That's funny that you say that because my story is very similar. My mother,
Okay.
I always called her a gypsy because she moved us around so much. But, I went to all these different schools. It never did we like settle in a place. And it's funny because when you said that, it just struck me like that's exactly why I do this too. It's so common in that giving our children a place to call home, even though we never moved schools. We'd move homes for investments, 2 years and then out and take our equity and then go to another house. But I never moved the kids' schools because it was so important. But that's funny you said that because if my mom's watching, she'll know I call her just
Ashley, what inspired you?
So initially, I would say my aunt, definitely. She was a realtor and she worked for a local builder here. So I would kind of help over the weekends, fill in a little bit here and there. And I kind of got to watch it from the sidelines. I could see her joy and her clients' joy in finding that forever home, and have just being able to witness that from kind of the sidelines a little bit. I wanted a larger part in that and a fuller share in it. So I got my real estate license years later, kids of my own. So I was able to, I've been back to real estate now 2 times. So why I got into real estate, and they're each at different point in my life. So now having family, kids, I would say they're my big why now. My parents died when I was younger, so they missed out on a lot of things and I just wanted to be that one constant for my kids. I want them to know that I'm going to be there to pick them up from school, drop them off. I'll be at award ceremonies, assemblies when we have them again. And, just to be present. And thankfully, my husband has been very supportive. So I've been able to do that and have a fuller share.
That's amazing. Jay, what about you?
So I come from kind of a farming ranching background. My last job, I was a welder. Mine part of it came out of necessity and the other part kind of played into it. So being 6'8", it exactly wasn't the best career choice for me to get a job where all I did was work on my hands and on my knees. So when my knees and back started to give out and I started having kind of some health issues, I needed to start looking for another career. But the wonderful thing is that welding allowed me to buy my first home. And that was in 2018, so pretty recent. So I can still remember that day that we closed and the feeling and the sense of pride that it gave me. So when I was looking for another career path, I wanted to be more people-based, and I wanted to be able to provide that same sense of satisfactory and pride for other people. So that's why I got into real estate, was really to help other people feel the same way that I did.
What is your favorite thing about real estate, Jay?
I like the fact that it's not just like everybody thinks it's just a desk job, but it's really not. Like, I like being able to have some time in the office, and then I like, normally the later half of my day when everybody's getting off work, I get to go out and show people, I get to interact with people. So I'm not just sitting at a desk all day. I really do meet a lot of wonderful, wonderful people. And I think I'll say we've made some really good relationships with our clients over the years. I was looking at my birthday party the other day, and I laugh because the majority of the people that were there were family or they were past clients that became my really good friends. So that's what I enjoy the most.
Yeah, that's awesome. Ashley, what about you?
I just, I love the whole, you show properties, maybe several homes, but that awe moment, like in being able to witness that, when they see the house and they're like, this is it, this is the one, and and being able to help them through the process. It can be stressful at times, but being able to help them navigate and overcome the challenges that are presented throughout the transaction. And every transaction is different. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing it, there's something to be learned and gained. And also the relationships that are built along the way. We're in a position of trust. This is one of the largest investments that people will probably make in their lifetime. And so to help and assist them with that is an honor.
What about you, Jamie?
I love a lot of things about it. So I think really the relationships is what I love the most. So a lot of my past clients are really good friends. And I always tell people we're building this relationship as we're looking for houses. And what I tell them at closing is we're not getting divorced. So I am here. I want to be a part of your life. I want to be a resource for you. That's why I always say I have the guy. So if they need a painter later on, or they need a plumber to fix something, I want them to come back to me because I know I'm trustworthy. I know my integrity and my worth. And I think sometimes if you fall into the wrong hands, whether it be in any profession, not just this profession, the wrong plumber, the wrong painter, people don't show up. They don't have accountability. I really love the fact that I can put my name on people and trust them to give my clients the same service that I give them. To me, it's important. It really warms my heart when people call and I can help them out. It's probably that whole process. And I think going back to when I was looking at real estate and becoming an investor, it was more of them educating me and making me feel like they would be there after the transaction if I had any questions or issues. And in our first agent, I just didn't feel that way. I wasn't sure that they knew any more about real estate than I did. But I love that, and I love the freedom that it gives me. Same as Ashley, I never missed my kids' basketball games. I didn't miss their school events. I may have worked really late at night like I do now, but it gave me the freedom to really be, I think, present in their lives and growing up and making good, healthy adults that I'm blessed to call my children.
John, what's your favorite thing?
Oh, there's just so many things that are cool about it. Honestly, some of the things that are cool are some of the things that are annoying. So I probably, to sum it all up, is I like the challenge. There's always something new, something different, something to learn. So that's kind of what fuels me. Is just absorbing all of that. And I mean, the cool thing of working with Jamie is that she has so much experience and so much knowledge that I can make mistakes, and she just says, "Oh, here's why you don't do this or why you don't do that." I fix it, and then I don't have to deal with that when I'm dealing with clients. So it's easy for her to help me make sure I don't make a mistake that she's already made. So that's what the coolest thing to me about being on a team, and that's with everybody, because there's stuff that Ashley knows, there's stuff that Jay knows that they help me with as well, that we can learn from each other to not make mistakes that have already been made by one another, if that makes sense. So I'm okay with making mistakes, but I hate making mistakes when something's on the line. So the fact that I can work with great people, knowledgeable people, and learn so that I don't make those mistakes when it counts is super important to me. So ultimately, the challenge is what I like, because it gives me the chance to do better, compete even with people on our own team. Like, hey, this is what I did today. Hey, this is, you know what I mean? I'm very competitive at nature, but I feel like I'm a great team player. And that's what I love about the team, is that if somebody needs something, we're all there for each other. But yeah, I think that, and then just, I mean, talking to people, I do well when it comes to talking. if I could listen as well, sometimes I would probably be even better. But I do try to be as active a listener as I can. But I do love the interaction. So not that I'm not a good listener, I just am a better talker.
We'll have to ask your wife.
Huh? What'd you say?
Huh?
Sorry.
Huh?
The listening part. It's
So,
true, when
Jay-
John says that, one of the, sorry, Jay, one of the things is that we are really a team, and we're very competitive against each other, but we are still a team. Like, we all want to win for each other. And so I was a competitive swimmer and basketball player growing up, and I played tennis, things like that. And I love the competition. And I think too, that's what I love most about the team, is that, we're poking at each other all the time, but in the scheme of things, we want to win together, because when one of us wins, we all win. And it is one of the things that I love. And having people that really, we work off of each other's personalities. We all have different traits and different things to bring to the table. It really is fun to come to work and just sometimes, we're goofing off, or, we're poking each other saying, yeah, I got you, and what are you doing? John, tell them what you told us last week.
No, because everybody will be mad at me. so I asked Sabrina. So Sabrina's our director of operations. For those that don't know, so toward the end of the day, everyone had been out of the office. I had 4 closings personally. So I was just kind of joking, and I go, "Hey, Sabrina, do we have workers' comp?" And she goes, "Why?" And I go, "My back is killing me from carrying this team today."
Oh.
And so Jamie called not too long afterward, maybe like a half an hour after that, and she goes, "Jamie, do we carry workers' comp? John hurt his back." And Jamie's like, "John who? Like, who's doing hard labor?" And so when she finally figured it out, Sabrina's like, "John, he said his back hurts from carrying the team today."
It was funny.
Anyway, yeah.
That's
True,
great.
but funny.
Just jokes, but that's the competitive nature, right? Like, it's not meant to be like hurtful to the rest of the team. It's meant to like inspire each other and help each other and push each other to do better and be better and all that good stuff. So yeah.
Yeah,
But my back doesn't hurt. My back doesn't hurt today. I'm good.
Still early. It's still early.
Yeah, we always drive each other to do better. That's what I love. And we're always looking out for each other. So, Jay, you're kind of the newest one to real estate. What are some tips that you would give someone just getting into real estate?
Man, where do I start? So first off, be prepared. Everybody thinks that being an agent's easy and that you're just going to make all this money right off the bat and everything. That's not true at all. It's a lot of hard work. And I always tell people, who are coming from, W-2 40-hour week to independent contracting, you will never work as hard for somebody else as you will for yourself. So when I moved from welding to this, I probably went a solid 6 months before I closed my first deal. And even at that, it wasn't anything substantial. It was a piece of land. But just be prepared, because what you put in, you're going to get out. So it's going to be a lot of hard work. It's going to be a lot of time, but it is definitely rewarding on the other end. So the biggest thing that I think helped me, I was Rookie of the Year 2019 for the association. Really, it came down to education and community involvement. So like, in this profession, you got to get out, you got to shake hands, you got to meet people, you got to really put yourself out there, which I know a lot of the times is the hardest part, is you really just kind of have to, total stranger, just kind of project yourself out there. But ultimately, I think by being involved in government affairs committee with the association, getting to know the other realtors and the other brokerages, making friends, and education were truly the biggest thing for me. I think I was probably in at least 4 or 5 classes a week. So trying to get that education up, because honestly, as a beginning agent, the more that you know, the better off you are. Because really, what you don't know is kind of what hurts you. So, and two, being new, and people could steal this. I stole it from Gary Keller, and he said my definition of a professional is somebody who knows what they know, knows what they don't, and knows the difference. So the only way that you can ever know is by getting as much education as you can. So that's what I recommend for any new starting agents. It is definitely rewarding, but just be prepared for the work.
And knowing the contract in and out. I hear you guys say it all the time, and that's how you guys are better agents, is knowing the contract in and out, and then it helps your clients. Ashley, what is your advice?
Well, I would say definitely you'd want to interview employing brokers, look into the company that you might be aligning yourself with. You're an independent contractor, but you're going to be hanging your license up under that person. So you want to make sure that their core values are the same. That they will be accessible, because every transaction is different. You're going to need help from your employing broker, basically from the word go. So you need to make sure that they're educating you properly, training you, supporting you, because it's different. And regardless of how long you've been doing it, there's something to be learned each and every time. But you want to make sure you have somebody supporting you and educating you along the way.
Definitely.
One of the things that I say is that I've been doing this 20 years and I call Tony at least once a week, like just to bounce something off of him, because he's been in the business as long as I have. And sometimes he looks at things differently than I do. And it really helps for him to say, hey, I'm looking at it this way. How are you looking at it? And then really collaborating to make sure that and I think one of the things with new agents is they get worried that they're supposed to know everything. And when I teach my classes to agents, I say, I don't know everything. I've been doing this 20 years and I don't know everything. So there's no way you're going to come out of school and know everything. I would rather you just ask. It's a learning. This is a constant learning business. There is nothing that is the same. And so you should feel free to ask somebody. So if you're feeling like I can't ask them because they're going to look down on me, or I'm going to be embarrassed, or they're going to think, what am I doing? You're probably not in the right place. You need to know that you can ask freely, and that you're going to get an answer saying, this is why we do it this way, and making sure that they offer enough support in classes, because a lot of agencies you'll go into and they just put you on the street to go start selling real estate, and really don't offer that support of really teaching you contracts, because real estate school doesn't teach you anything about selling real estate. That's what I tell everybody. You don't learn anything in school. You learn how to pass a state and a national exam, but really putting it into practice day after day is what's going to make you a better agent.
John, do you want to jump in real quick and give a
Yeah.
little advice before we wrap it up?
Yeah, for sure. So I have 2 little things. So one of them is actually one of my favorite parts of real estate, is that there is that flexibility. So on the flip side of that, when you get into real estate, just know you don't work 9 to 5. It's not, like Jay said, it's not a 9 to 5 job. It's a 9 to 11:30, and then maybe have lunch if you're lucky, and then it's noon to 6, and then it's dinner time, and then it's 7 to midnight sometimes. So be prepared to put in the work. It's not just 9 to 5. It's not just writing contracts. There's so much more to it. And so that leads me to the second tip, and everybody's kind of said it in different ways, but get the training, get the education, but work with a company that's going to provide you with the support, the resources, the training that you need. Make sure you interview, like Ashley said, talk to people, talk to the employing broker, but figure out what the best fit is for you. Like, everybody has different needs, but you want, as a new agent, you want to learn how to do this business the right way. If you don't, you won't be in this business very long, can promise you, because if you don't know the core things to do, you're not going to succeed. It's literally like Jay said, you don't just come in and like, hey, I have a license, and then you make $100,000 a year. That $100,000 a year comes with 12 and 14-hour days, 6 or 7 days a week sometimes. So be prepared for that. There's many wonderful things about it. And I think we'll all agree it can be lucrative, but you have to put in the work. And if you don't put in the work, you're never gonna make $100,000. You can make a decent part-time living, but you're never gonna be a full-time agent if you don't put in the work, especially early on. Would you agree, Jamie? Like, it's really about how you start as much as it is what you do on a day-to-day basis 20 years into the business.
It's truly a business. So when Jay said, I'm going to be an agent, one of the things I told him is that this is a business. I make it look easy because I've been doing it 20 years. He wasn't with me when it wasn't easy. He was with me. He was just very young, so he didn't know the difference. But one of the things is you have to learn. You have to be willing to go out every night. You have to be willing to go out every weekend. You have to be willing to go out on holidays. And it is a business, 5 years. I told Jay, when you start, you'll have a true business in 5 years, because at that point, people are repeat business. And if they liked you the first time, they'll normally use you the second time. So it's a commitment. This is not, I'm going to get in here for a year and I'm going to be a rock star. It is a job day in and day out. And I always tell people I work 7 to 7, and those are mainly when I answer phone calls, but I'm still working every night till 9, 10. I mean, there's times Greg goes to bed and I'm still working because I have to get things finished, and especially in the summer, it seems like when we're the busiest. So it is a huge commitment.
Well, thank you everyone for meeting with me today. There are some real estate classes that